A mother stood by a dark river, holding a tiny wooden box. Inside was her baby boy, sleeping peacefully. Her hands shook. Tears rolled down her cheeks. Behind her, she could hear soldiers marching through the streets. They were searching every house, looking for baby boys. To kill them, she kissed her son one last time, whispered a prayer, and gently placed the box into the cold water. The river took it away. But this wasn't the end of the baby's story. It was only the beginning, because that baby would grow up to face the most powerful king in the world. And on one amazing day, he would split an entire sea in half. This is a true story of Prophet Musa, peace be upon him. 3,500 years ago, in the land of Egypt, there lived a king called Pharaoh. But Pharaoh wasn't just any king. He was cruel, he was proud, and he believed he was a god. "I am your Lord," he would shout to his people. "Bow down to me." And the people, scared of his army and his anger, would bow. But there was one group of people who refused to worship him. They were called the Bani Israel, the children of Israel. They believed in the one true God, Allah. And because of this, Pharaoh hated them. He made them his slaves. Every single day, from sunrise to sunset, the Bani Israel worked. They built Pharaoh's palaces. They carried heavy stones. They worked in burning heat without rest. And if they complained, Pharaoh's soldiers would beat them. The Bani Israel prayed to Allah, "Please, save us from this suffering." But their pain was about to get much, much worse. One night, Pharaoh had a terrible dream. He saw a huge fire coming from the direction of Jerusalem. The fire burned down all the Egyptian houses. It destroyed everything Pharaoh owned. But strangely, it didn't touch a single house of the Bani Israel. Pharaoh woke up sweating, his heart pounding. The next morning, he called all the magicians and fortune-tellers in Egypt to his palace. "What does this dream mean?" he demanded. The fortune-tellers whispered together. Then their leader spoke. "Your Majesty, a baby boy will be born among the Bani Israel, and he will destroy you." Pharaoh's face turned red with rage. "What? A baby will destroy me?" The mighty Pharaoh. He stood up, his voice booming through the palace. "Then I will destroy every baby boy born to the Bani Israel. Kill them all." His soldiers rushed out into the streets. They banged on doors. They searched houses. And when they found baby boys, they took them away. Forever. Thousands of innocent babies were killed. The whole country filled with the sound of mothers crying. But Pharaoh's advisors came to him with a problem. "Your Majesty," they said nervously, "if we keep killing all the baby boys, soon there will be no slaves left. Who will do all the hard work?" Pharaoh thought about this. "Fine," he said coldly. "Kill the babies every other year. That way we'll have some slaves left." And so the killing continued, but now only every other year. It was during one of these terrible years that a baby boy was born to a woman from the Bani Israel. She looked at her beautiful son, wrapped him in a soft cloth, and tears filled her eyes. "How can I keep you safe?" she whispered. "How can I hide you?" She named him Musa. For weeks, she managed to keep baby Musa hidden. But the soldiers were getting closer. They were checking every house, every room, every hiding spot. Musa's mother's heart beat faster every day. "What do I do? What do I do?" Then one night, something amazing happened. Allah sent her a message, a feeling deep in her heart that told her exactly what to do. When you fear for him, put him in a basket and place him in the river. Don't be afraid and don't be sad. I promise you, I will bring him back to you, and he will become one of my prophets. Can you imagine? Allah himself made her a promise. But still, it was the hardest thing a mother could ever do. She found a strong wooden box. She placed soft blankets inside. She put little baby Musa in it, still sleeping peacefully. Then, late at night, when the streets were empty, she carried the box to the river Nile. Her hands trembled. She looked at her baby one more time. Tears fell from her eyes onto the box. "Allah, please protect my child," she prayed. And she placed the box gently into the water. The river current took it away. Slowly at first, then faster. Soon it was just a small shape floating in the darkness. Musa's mother almost jumped in after it. But Allah gave her strength to be patient. She whispered to her daughter, Musa's older sister, "Follow the box. See where it goes. But don't let anyone notice you." The young girl nodded and quietly followed along the riverbank, watching the box float downstream. The box floated and floated, carried by the gentle waves. It bobbed up and down, protected by Allah's care. And where do you think it went? Straight to Pharaoh's palace. The box floated right into the palace gardens where Pharaoh's servants were playing in the water. "What's that?" one servant shouted, pointing at the floating box. They pulled it to the shore and opened it. Inside was the most beautiful baby they had ever seen. His face was glowing. His eyes were bright. He looked like an angel. "We must show the queen," they said. They rushed the baby to Queen Asiya, Pharaoh's wife. Now, Queen Asiya was very different from her husband. While Pharaoh was cruel, she was kind. While he was proud, she was humble. And while he worshipped himself, she secretly believed in Allah. She also had no children of her own. She had always wanted a baby. When she saw little Musa, her heart melted. Oh, what a beautiful child. She picked him up and held him close. At that exact moment, Pharaoh walked into the room. Queen Asiya quickly went to him. "Look," she said excitedly, "this baby is a gift for both of us. Please, let's keep him. Don't kill him. Maybe he will be useful to us, or we can adopt him as our son." Pharaoh looked at the baby. Something strange happened. For just a moment, he felt love for this child. He didn't know why, but we know it was part of Allah's plan. "Fine," Pharaoh agreed. "You can keep him." And so, the very baby who was supposed to destroy Pharaoh was now living in his own palace, protected by his own guards. Allah's plan was amazing, wasn't it? But there was one big problem. Baby Musa wouldn't drink milk from anyone. Queen Asiya tried feeding him. No, the palace maids tried. No, she brought in wet nurses from all over Egypt. But baby Musa refused them all. He cried and cried. The queen was getting worried. Meanwhile, Musa's older sister had been watching everything from outside the palace gates. She saw the problem and had an idea. She walked up to the guards bravely and said, "Excuse me, I know a woman who can help. She's very good with babies. Should I bring her?" The guards brought her to Queen Asiya. "Yes, please," the queen said desperately. "Bring this woman quickly." The sister ran home as fast as she could. "Mother, mother, come quickly." Soon, Musa's real mother was standing in Pharaoh's palace, her heart pounding. Would her baby recognize her? They placed Musa in her arms. Immediately, he stopped crying, he smiled, and he started drinking milk happily. Everyone in the palace was amazed. "This woman is magic," they said. Queen Asiya was so relieved. "Will you stay here in the palace and take care of him?" she asked. But Musa's mother said gently, "I have a family at home, but I can take him to my house and care for him there." And that's exactly what happened. Allah had kept his promise. Musa was back with his real mother, safe and sound, and Pharaoh was even paying her to take care of her own son. Allah's plan was perfect. The Quran tells us that Musa grew up drinking his mother's milk and living with his family for his early years. Then, when he was older, he moved back to the palace. He grew up as a prince. He had the best education, the best clothes, the best food, but he never forgot who he really was, a child of the Bani Israel. One day, when Musa was a young man, something happened that changed everything. Little Musa once had a stick in his hand while sitting with Pharaoh. Playfully, he hit Pharaoh on the head. Pharaoh exploded with anger. "This is the boy the fortune tellers warned me about. He will destroy me. Kill him now." But Queen Asiya thought quickly. "Wait," she said. "He's just a baby. He doesn't understand. Let me prove it to you." She ordered servants to bring 2 plates. One plate had shiny red jewels on it. The other had burning hot coals. "If he's smart, he'll reach for the jewels," she explained. "If he's just a silly baby, he'll reach for the fire." They put both plates in front of little Musa. He reached out his tiny hand toward the jewels. But just then, Angel Gabriel, gently pushed his hand toward the coals instead. Baby Musa grabbed a hot coal and put in his mouth. Wah! He cried out in pain. Pharaoh saw this and laughed. See? He's just a stupid baby. He spared Musa's life. But from that day on, Musa had a small difficulty speaking clearly. His tongue had been slightly burned. This is why, later, he would ask Allah to help him speak clearly. Years passed. Musa grew into a strong, handsome, and intelligent young man. Everyone in Egypt knew him as Pharaoh's adopted son. But Musa never forgot his real people, the Bani Israel. Whenever he saw Pharaoh's soldiers treating them badly, his heart hurt. One day, Musa was walking through the city. Suddenly, he heard shouting. An Egyptian soldier was beating a man from the Bani Israel. Stop! Musa yelled. He ran over and pulled the soldier away. But the soldier wouldn't stop. He kept attacking. Musa pushed him back. Hard, maybe too hard. The soldier fell to the ground and didn't get up. He was dead. Musa hadn't meant to kill him, but he was so strong that one push had been too much. Oh no, Musa whispered. What have I done? He quickly left the scene, his heart heavy. Oh Allah, forgive me, he prayed. I didn't mean to. The next day, Musa saw the same Bani Israel man fighting with another Egyptian soldier. Not again, Musa said, walking over to help. But the man thought Musa was coming to hit him. He shouted loudly, Oh, Musa, are you going to kill me like you killed that Egyptian yesterday? The Egyptian soldier heard this and ran straight to Pharaoh. Your Majesty, he panted. Musa killed one of our men. Pharaoh's face turned dark. Arrest him. I want him dead. But a kind man from the palace ran to warn Musa. Run. Pharaoh wants to kill you. Leave Egypt now. Musa had no choice. He left everything behind. The palace, the luxuries, the safety, with just the clothes on his back. He ran out of Egypt into the desert. He prayed as he ran. Oh Allah, save me from these evil people. For days, Musa walked alone through the hot desert. No food, little water. No idea where he was going. He just trusted Allah to guide him. Finally, he reached a place called Madian. There was a well there, and he sat down under a tree to rest. While Musa sat there, he noticed shepherds bringing their sheep and goats to drink from the well. But standing far away were two young women with their animals. They were waiting. Musa walked over. Why are you standing here? He asked gently. We're waiting for all the men to finish, one girl explained. Our father is too old to come himself, so we have to water the animals. But we can't push through the crowd. Musa felt bad for them. Without saying another word, he walked to the well, lifted the heavy stone cover, and drew water for all their animals until they were satisfied. Then he went back to sit under the tree. He was so tired, so hungry, so lost. He prayed, Oh Allah, I desperately need your help. A little later, one of the girls came back, walking shyly. My father wants to thank you for helping us, she said. Please come to our house. Musa went with her. And do you know who her father was? He was a prophet too. His name was Prophet Shu'aib, peace be upon him. Prophet Shu'aib was a wise old man. He listened to Musa's whole story about Egypt, about Pharaoh, about the killing, about running away. When Musa finished, Shu'aib smiled kindly. Don't be afraid anymore. You're safe here. You've escaped from those evil people. Then Prophet Shu'aib offered Musa something wonderful. Stay with us. I'd like you to marry one of my daughters and work for me for 8 years. If you want to stay for 10 years, that's even better. I won't make it hard on you. You'll find me to be kind. Musa agreed immediately. I accept this offer, he said. And so Musa got married, settled down, and spent the next 10 years as a shepherd in Madian, far from Egypt, far from Pharaoh, living a quiet, peaceful life. But Allah was preparing him for something huge. 10 years passed. Musa decided it was time to visit Egypt again. He took his wife and started the long journey. One night, they were traveling through the cold desert near a mountain called Mount Sinai. It was dark, freezing cold, and Musa's family was shivering. Suddenly, Musa saw something strange. Far away, on the mountain, there was a light, like a fire. Stay here, he told his wife. I see a fire. Maybe I can bring back some flames to warm us, or at least find someone who can tell us which way to go." Musa walked toward the light. As he got closer, he realized it was coming from a tree that was glowing with light, but not burning. Then, something happened that changed Musa's life forever. A voice called out, "Oh, Musa, I am Allah, the Lord of all the worlds." Musa froze. His heart pounded. Allah was speaking to him directly. "Take off your shoes," the voice said. "You are standing on holy ground. I have chosen you, Musa. Listen carefully to what I'm about to tell you." Musa removed his shoes, trembling. Allah continued, "I am Allah. There is no God but me. Worship me and pray to me regularly. Know that the day of judgment is coming. I keep its time hidden so that everyone can be rewarded for their deeds. Don't let those who don't believe in it distract you, or you will be lost." Then Allah asked, "Musa, what is that in your right hand?" Musa looked down. "It's my staff, my walking stick. I lean on it, and I use it to knock down leaves of my sheep. I use it for other things too." Allah said, "Throw it down." Musa threw the stick to the ground. Instantly, it turned into a huge snake, slithering and hissing. Musa jumped back in fear. "Don't be afraid," Allah said calmly. "Pick it up. I'll turn it back into a stick." Musa carefully picked up the snake, and it became a stick again. Then Allah said, "Put your hand inside your cloak against your chest." Musa did. When he pulled his hand out, it was glowing bright white like the moon. "These are 2 signs from me," Allah explained. "Now go to Pharaoh. He has gone too far in his evil. Invite him to believe in me." Musa felt nervous. "Oh Allah," he prayed, "give me courage. Make my mission easy. Help me speak clearly so people understand me. And please send my brother Aaron, with me as a helper." Allah said, "All that you ask for is granted. Go now, Musa. You and your brother will go to Pharaoh with my signs. Don't be afraid. I am with you, hearing and seeing everything." Musa and his brother Harun traveled back to Egypt. It had been 10 years since Musa left. Now he was returning, not as a runaway, but as Allah's messenger. The 2 brothers walked straight into Pharaoh's grand palace, the same palace where Musa had grown up. Pharaoh sat on his throne, surrounded by his advisors and guards. When he saw Musa, he was shocked. "Musa!" Pharaoh shouted, "You dare come back here? After killing one of my people?" The whole court went silent. Musa spoke calmly and clearly. "O Pharaoh, we have come a message from Allah, the Lord of all the worlds. Let the children of Israel go free." Pharaoh's face turned red. "You dare tell me what to do? Didn't I raise you in my palace? Didn't I give you everything? And then you killed one of my men. You are nothing but an ungrateful murderer." Musa answered truthfully, "I did that when I didn't know better. I was wrong. That's why I ran away. I was afraid of you. But then Allah gave me wisdom and made me one of his messengers. And as for your favor of raising me, you only did that because you enslaved all my people. You took our freedom away." Pharaoh tried to change the subject. "And who is this Lord of all the worlds that you speak of?" Musa replied, "He is the one who created the heavens and the earth and everything in between, the Lord of you, me, and all our ancestors." Pharaoh turned to his court mockingly. "Did you hear this? Your messenger seems to be crazy." But Musa continued, "He is the Lord of the east and the west and everything between them. If you would only use your brains." Pharaoh got angry. "If you take any god other than me, I'll throw you in prison." Musa said calmly, "Even if I show you something that proves the truth?" "Fine." Pharaoh shouted, "Show me this proof, if you're telling the truth." Musa threw down his staff. Instantly, it became a giant snake. The entire court gasped. People jumped back in fear. Then Musa put his hand in his cloak and pulled it out, glowing white and bright. The court was stunned into silence. But Pharaoh wouldn't admit he was wrong. Instead, he said to his people, "This man is just a very clever magician. He wants to kick you out of your land with his magic. What should we do?" His advisor said, "Give him and his brothers some time. Send messengers to every city to bring all our best magicians here. They'll show everyone that Musa is just a fake." The day of the great contest arrived. People came from all over Egypt to watch. The town square was packed with thousands and thousands of people. Pharaoh's magicians stood on one side, dozens of them, the best in all of Egypt. Musa and Harun stood on the other side, just two men. Pharaoh announced, "If you magicians defeat this man, I'll reward you greatly and give you high positions in my government." The magicians bowed. "Don't worry, your majesty. We'll definitely win." The contest began. The head magician asked Musa, "Will you throw first, or should we?" Musa said calmly, "You throw." All the magicians threw their ropes and staffs onto the ground at once. Suddenly, the ground was covered with snakes. Hundreds of snakes, slithering everywhere. The crowd screamed. It looked like magic was going to win. Musa felt a moment of fear. But Allah spoke to his heart. "Don't be afraid. You will be the winner. Now throw your staff." Musa threw his staff. It became an enormous snake, bigger than all the others combined. And then something amazing happened. Musa's snake started eating all the fake snakes. One by one, it swallowed every single rope and staff the magicians had thrown. Within minutes, only Musa's snake remained. The crowd went completely silent. This was no ordinary magic. The magicians knew immediately. They had been doing magic tricks their whole lives. They knew the difference between tricks and real miracles. One by one, all the magicians fell to their knees. "We believe," they shouted. "We believe in the Lord of Harun and Musa." Thousands of people in the crowd believed too. Pharaoh was furious. His own magicians had just betrayed him. "You dare believe in him without my permission?" Pharaoh screamed. "He must be your teacher who taught you magic. I'll cut off your hands and feet. I'll crucify you all." But the magicians weren't scared anymore. They had seen the truth with their own eyes. "Do whatever you want," they said bravely. "We're going back to our Lord anyway. We know what we saw was real. We believe in Allah." And Pharaoh, in his evil rage, killed them all. But their faith never wavered. After this, Musa stayed in Egypt for about 20 more years. He preached to people, performed miracles, and taught about Allah. But Pharaoh and most Egyptians refused to listen. Allah sent punishments to Egypt to make them think. Floods that destroyed their homes. Locusts that ate all their crops. Lice that made everyone itch. Frogs that filled their houses. Water that turned to blood. Each time a punishment came, Pharaoh would say, "Musa, ask your God to stop this, and I'll let your people go." But as soon as Allah removed the punishment, Pharaoh would break his promise. This happened again and again. Pharaoh's heart grew harder and harder. Finally, Allah told Musa, "It's time. Take your people and leave Egypt tonight." That night, Musa gathered all the children of Israel, men, women, and children, thousands of them, and they quietly left the city in darkness, heading toward the Red Sea. When morning came and Pharaoh discovered they were gone, he went mad with rage. "How dare they leave? Gather my entire army. We're going after them. I'll destroy them all." Within hours, Pharaoh had assembled the biggest army Egypt had ever seen. Thousands of soldiers, hundreds of horses, and chariots. They rode out of Egypt, chasing after the children of Israel. The children of Israel were walking as fast as they could. Old people, young children, families carrying whatever they could. Then someone shouted, "Look, behind us." They turned around. In the distance, they could see dust rising, getting closer. It was Pharaoh's army. "Faster! We need to move faster," people shouted. But then they reached the edge of the Red Sea. Huge waves crashing. Deep, dark water stretching as far as they could see. They were trapped. The army behind them. The sea in front of them. The people panicked. "We're going to die. Musa, what do we do?" Children were crying. Adults were terrified. But Musa stood calm. He raised his staff and said with complete faith, "Don't worry. My Lord is with me. He will guide me." At that exact moment, Allah spoke to Musa, "Strike the sea with your staff." Musa raised the staff high and struck the water. And then the most amazing miracle happened. The water began to split. It moved to the left and to the right, creating walls of water on both sides. And in the middle appeared a dry path, a road through the sea. The people couldn't believe their eyes. Quickly, everyone across. Musa shouted. Thousands of people ran across the path, old and young, carrying their belongings. The walls of water stood tall on both sides, held up by Allah's power. They made it to the other side safely. But then they looked back. Pharaoh's army had reached the edge of the sea. They saw the path through the water. Pharaoh shouted, "Follow them into the sea." Allah is obviously helping us too. He's made a path for us. The entire Egyptian army rushed into the path between the waters. Horses, chariots, soldiers, everyone. They were right in the middle of the sea when Allah gave a command. The walls of water started to collapse. "Go back! Go back!" Pharaoh screamed, but it was too late. The water crashed down on them from both sides. In seconds, Pharaoh's entire army was gone, swallowed by the sea. Pharaoh himself was drowning. As he went under the water, he finally cried out, I believe that there is no God except the God of the children of Israel. I'm sorry." But Allah said, "Now you believe? After a lifetime of evil? After hurting so many people? After claiming to be God yourself? Today, I will save your body," Allah declared, "so that people for thousands of years will see you and learn a lesson." And that's exactly what happened. Pharaoh drowned, but his body was preserved. Even today, thousands of years later, you can see Pharaoh's mummy in a museum in Egypt. A reminder to everyone, no matter how powerful you think you are, Allah is more powerful. The children of Israel stood on the other side of the sea, safe at last. They watched as the waves calmed down. The danger was over. For the first time in their lives, they were free. They cried tears of joy. They thanked Allah. They praised Him for saving them. And they understood something very important. When you trust in Allah, when you have faith even in the darkest moments, Allah will always make a way out. Musa had spent his whole life learning this lesson. As a baby in a box on the river, Allah protected him. Growing up in Pharaoh's own palace, Allah's plan. Running away to Madian, Allah guided him. Facing Pharaoh with just a stick, Allah gave him power. Standing at the sea with no escape, Allah split the water. Every single time, Allah was there. And that's the message for all of us, isn't it? When things look impossible, remember baby Musa floating in that river. Allah saved him. When you feel weak against powerful people, remember Musa facing Pharaoh. Allah helped him. When you feel trapped with no way out, remember the Red Sea splitting. Allah made a way. Allah tells us in the Quran, with hardship comes ease. After every difficulty, there's relief. So never give up. Keep your faith strong. Trust Allah and be patient, because Allah's help is always, always on the way.